headlines, the ANC once again takes the lead. A car hijacked about 2 weeks ago has been recovered in the heart of Gauteng. Boston students take initiative. Good morning, welcome to OTV News. I am Zandile Klono, and today in studio I am joined by Don Mteto, a political analyst who will be taking us through the recent national elections that happened in South Africa 2019. Don Mteto, thank you for joining us in studio. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Zandile?
I'm well, thank you. We all know that the ANC has taken the lead again in Gauteng as 55%, as it took a toll of 55%. And however, 6 million people were registered to vote in South Africa, but only a few voted. Tell me about the statistics.
I think it's more linked to the knowledge that people have in terms of politics. Politics is more about influence, so I think that the more that people are trained and the more that they are told about how politics can actually help them in decision making and in taking part of what is happening in the country, I think then the statistics will change in that stance.
Totally right. And another thing that I would like to find out from you, Don Tetra, that the rate of the youth unemployment in South Africa is slowly but surely rising up, and there is no way that, like, after 24 years of democracy, and this rate is not supposed to be going down. We are currently sitting at 52.2% of youth unemployment. How is the president planning to change the statistics?
I think one of the highlights that the president has initiated now is that entrepreneurship should be taught in the kindergarten levels of the school system. So with that, I could say that he's going in the right direction, because with the smaller schools being taught on entrepreneurship, there will actually be a lot more into smaller businesses that are coming into South Africa, and that would change the entire landscape around the unemployment rate.
With that being said, President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is the new president right now, he plans to fix on the things that the former state president, President Jacob Zuma, that he did back in the days when he was still in the ruling. He claims that he will fix the mistakes made by President Jacob Zuma, but the question that rings the bell is that how is he planning to do that when the people that he's working with are the same people that Zuma had in his cabinet?
Yeah, well, there is a bit of a shift in the administration. But I could say that with them taking oath in office and now leading with integrity and accountability when they get into office and cabinet, they are looking at changing what was happening back then, and so they will be doing a better job at this time, I hope.
Now that ANC is still taking the lead in Gauteng after 24 years of being in the lead, and there were no significant changes that were picked up, I just want to find out, what do the ministers think about the opposing parties that have the potential of making South Africa a better place?
I think that there are a bit of those people that are shaken, but as far as the influence is concerned with the other political parties, I think that they do have some sort of influence with them at provincial level. So it might be that the ANC has taken over nationally, but they still have a bit of influence. So the ministers will watch what is happening, because they do know that with that little bit of influence, they may form coalitions which could actually just take over government.
Thank you, Don, for joining us in studio, and I hope that the insight that you gave us will help a lot of people who still have these questions that ring the bell about the recent figures. In your other news, a car hijacked about 2 weeks ago in the highway in Soweto has recently been recovered in the heart of Gauteng. Baby Lila, who was also in the car during the hijacking, is still nowhere to be found, as the South African police are still doing further investigations. Let us cross over to our viewer who is in Gauteng right now, where the car was recently recovered earlier this morning. Our viewer, please give us insight as to what are the police and the police officials willing to do in order to make sure that these culprits will be held behind bars as soon as Baby Lila is recovered.
Zandi, we have been called here in Gauteng after there was a car chase between the police and the car. So the thieves decided to leave the car here after they reached the dead end. The police have been on a chase trying to find the thieves because one of the thieves has been shot. And the forensics are still on their way to recover the fingerprints from the car so that they can help find Baby Layla. Right now, I'm joined by the family, the mother and the aunt. Good morning. I'm sorry about what has happened. They are too emotional to talk right now, but I will have to take it back to the studio.
Thank you, Aviwe, for giving us insight as to what is happening at the site in Houghton right now, where the vehicle without baby Lila was recently recovered. Please make sure to follow this hashtag so that we can continue to make sure that baby Lila is home, safe and sound. Hashtag find baby Lila is the hashtag to follow. Here is your sports updates with Obageng Ngubeni.
Thank you, Zandi. In your OTV Sports, English champions Manchester City could face a financial fair play ban from next season's UEFA Champions League, meaning they will forfeit their place to Arsenal. Man City coach Pep Guardiola was far from pleased in Saturday's post-match conference, where he was asked questions about the ban, and he was fairly far from pleased in answering the questions. 2019 continues to be the year for the underdogs, as TX Galaxy, a team that finished 8th in the National First Division, managed to beat Kaizer Chiefs in the Nedbank Cup final this past weekend in Durban.
Confident, and they will celebrate long.
And in the boxing ring, Deontay Wilder wiped out Dominic Brazil in their fight for the WBC heavyweight champion in Brooklyn this past weekend. The fight only lasted 137 seconds before Wilder delivered a hard-rocking left hook to knock him out.
Wilder hit Brazil so hard, they are feeling it in Brazil.
And in your world of rugby, the Lions managed to run away 38-29 winners in a tri-fest at the Ellis Park Stadium this past Saturday against the Highlanders.
Points.
Tutizela Aid is a non-profit organization based in Alexandra that fosters for children from as young as 3 months to 20-year-olds. The public relations 3 students working together with Tutizela to make sure that food is the least of the children's worries this winter. That is why we have come up with a charity campaign to raise 5,000 cans to help the kids have something to eat, as it is one of our mission to make sure that food is the least of their worries. We chose this charity because it is close to home. Many children suffer from these type of things. They do not talk about it. So we thought that it is very important to alert the community that we know what the children are going through, because most of us can relate to the stories of being sexually abused, of not having food, and as well as being abandoned from home. But now we've come up with amazing activities such as a cake sale, talent show, to have fun.
Good morning, I'm Obageng Ngubeni, and I'll be giving you your weather forecast, your 5-day weather forecast rather, for Gauteng. Monday seems like it'll be a very sunny day, with temperatures going from about 30 reaching a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. On Tuesday, partly cloudy with the chance of rain, and Wednesday will be a cold front with temperatures going to a below of about 10 degrees. Now on to Thursday, a very partly cloudy day with no chances of rain, but I'm sure you get a bit of sun too, just a little bit of chilliness in there as well. And Friday, a very rainy day with chances of rain reaching about 50% in Gauteng. Thank you.